Okay. Hello, I hope you are all doing good. Best of your health before the examination, right? So all the very best for the examination. So here today we are here to do a live mock solving. So first of all, to do a live mock solving for you guys, I went through some of the papers from past year and tried to understand what could be the right strategy to attempt this paper. Why I went to find out the right strategy? Because every paper has some different sections and I have to analyze and understand where to give and how much time should I give, right? So that is what my priorities are. So if I see here in this paper, so I'll give you a brief 5-minute introduction that how I'll go about the paper and then we'll start the paper. So what I understood was we have 4 sections. One is GK, which has 40 questions. Then we have legal, which has 30. Then we have reasoning, which has 30, as well as English, which has 50. And the overall is 150. Correct? So when I was trying to analyze what could be done within 2 hours is how I can benefit my time or utilize my time in the best possible way. So what I understood is GK is something which is black and white. Black and white, what do I mean by black and white? Either I'll get the answer or I'll not be get the answer. So there is no in between part. So if I know the answer, I'll mark that answer. If I do not know the answer, I'll guess and move forward. So this is where I would allocate some 7 to 8 minutes. Then for legal section, because there is a lot of reading to be done, I can say some 40 minutes. So what my target would be, so somewhere around 50 minutes I should get done with these 2 sections. Correct? And then next is reasoning section, which takes sometimes a bit of time because some questions are sometimes time consuming, some are a little bit lengthy at times. So for this, I would say 40 minutes, another 40. So 50 plus 40 is 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? And 30 minutes for verbal, because if you've seen a verbal paper, apart from some RCs, all things are very simple. So this would be my ideal way of going about a test. So there could be plus minus 2-3 minutes here and there, which would be possible. So again, this would be my ideal way. And my ideal sequence would be GK, legal. Then because I like quant, I would be going for reasoning and then would go for English. Now let's suppose if there is someone who is into English and knows English better, he should go English before reasoning. So whatever is your good section or whatever is the section which you like, that is what you should do. Correct? So this is how you should go about it. Correct? So now let's start the mock. So we have planned that we will do the mock number 3. So I hope you guys are able to see the mock, right? So I think the mock is visible. I have shared the screen of mock with everyone, right? Is the mock screen visible to everyone? Yes. So now my first question is which tiger reserve bagged the first ever international TX2 for doubling the number of tigers in 4 years against a target of 10 years. So if you have been reading the news regularly, if you have been a regular reader, you know that it is Pilibhit. If you have been a regular reader, you know it is Pilibhit, correct? So you can move forward. If you do not know, you can guess any which way. Now, second question is, which country is going to build what is claimed to be world's first energy island in South Sea? So North Sea. So first of all, North Sea means all the places which are in the north. So I'll go for all the places which are in the north. So if you see the options, they are very good and they are all from the north. But if you have gone through the material that is provided, you will know that the answer would be Denmark. Right? Now, if I move to the next question, which company sources the world's first consignment of carbon neutral oil from US? Now, if you see the options from here, and they are talking about oil. So if you hear oil, what is the first name that comes to your mind? When you hear oil, what is the first name that comes to your mind? If I talk about Tata, ITC, Reliance, Adani, what is the first name that comes to your mind? So the first name that would come to my mind would be Reliance. So I would mark Reliance and move forward. Now, if I go to the next question. So where was the India-US joint military exercise Yudh Abhyas 20 held? Now, if you have been reading the news, you can be very sure that it has not happened in Gujarat. You can be very sure that it has happened in Rajasthan. So if you know that it has happened in Rajasthan, the first two options are from Rajasthan. So you can mark any of those two options, but given me a chance, I would have marked Bikaner. Correct? And I would have moved forward. Now, this question number 5. On which of the following dates does the equinox generally occur? What is equinox? So equinox is when the time of day and night become equal. When the time of day and night become equal. So when the time of day and night become equal, what is that day? So can I say December and January could be ruled out because they fall in winter? They have shorter days and longer nights. And if I talk about June, June is a month which is summer month. So again, it can be ruled out because it will have longer days, correct? So I would have marked March from it. Now, if I talk about which organization entered into a long-term supply agreement for the AstraZeneca, Oxford, and Novavax vaccine with Serum Institute. This is something you should have known. You should have known. I would not explain this because this is something you should know. Now, if I talk about which country topped 2020 democracy index? If I talk about democracy index, what name comes to my mind? If you have heard in news, Norway is a place which even does referendums for different kind of amendments or different kind of thoughts that they have. So they do everything with the understanding of the people. So the answer should be Norway. Now, if I talk about this, books is something I am not very interested. So I would not be knowing what the answer is. The little book of encouragement. I have no idea which option to mark in this case. But yes, because if I have no negative, I would mark something and move forward. So what should I mark? Can you guys help me out in this? What should I mark? If anyone has any idea? But let's suppose saving time, I would mark C and move forward. Now, which entity publishes the digital payment index? This is for sure to be known by you. This is part of the fact book, part of the books that you are given. It is the Reserve Bank of India. Now, if I talk about which Indian state hosts the famous Khajuraho Dance Festival. Now, if I am talking about Khajuraho Dance Festival, if you have heard or if you have read a little bit about history or something, you could have known this place. But frankly speaking, even I am not 100% sure, but my guess would be some central Indian place. So from some central Indian, I would have gone through Madhya Pradesh or Chandigarh, But Madhya Pradesh being larger in size, I would have gone with Madhya Pradesh. I am not sure what the answer is. Now, who was the only Indian activist to feature in 2021 Time 100 Next? Time magazine's annual list of 100 emerging leaders. This is something I again have no idea. What should I do? Because again, Time magazine, and we are talking about activists. I am not into much activists, so I will mark something and move forward. Who succeeded Ghulam Nabi Azad as the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha? This is something, if a person is into politics, should know. As I am into politics, little bit of politics, I know who is it. But if you are not, you could have marked anything and moved forward. Government of India approved a new central sector scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana under. So Sampada is trying to make them having everything, or if I, so this is something again from the fact. So that is Ministry of Food and Processing. Now, if I move to this, Amrut Mahotsav is the celebration of, again from current affairs, again from current affairs. This is again, you should know, it was 75th independence. Now, this is again, I am not into very much into dance, and again, it is a dance from the southern part of the country. And from these four names, if I have to guess, the only name that I have heard of is Kathak or Kathakali. I have not heard of any other name out of these. So I would have marked any of these two. So let's mark what? A, B, C, D, A, B, B. So let's mark A. Now, which state will host Khelo India University Games 2021? Again from current affairs, 2021, they are talking about 2021. You should have known that this is Karnataka. Ornithology is the scientific study of, so again, this is again from current affairs, because there are some wildlife sanctuaries and some reserves as well about birds, where we talk about ornithology. So it has to be with regards to birds. Now, if I talk about this, which Indian wrestler regained world #1 spot? So if I talk about world #1 spot taken by whom? The person who represented and who got, I think, one of the medal also he won, I think silver in Olympics. So he is Mr. Bajrang Punia. Now, if I talk about which Indian city emerged as the top of ease of doing business, again, you should know from the facts, it is Bangalore. Again, simple. As per International Institute of Strategic Studies, which country was the world's largest defense spender in 2020? The world's largest investor has to have the world's largest money. And who has the world's largest money? US. And you know, US is everywhere. If you talk about in terms of defense, he is everywhere. World Press Day is annually observed on, I'm not sure. I know it's May, but I'm not sure. Let's go again with one. And let's move forward. Payjal Surakshan scheme is implemented by, again, a question on ministry, which is part of your book. You should know. During the Indian freedom struggle, the Chauri Chaura incident involved demonstrators participating in. Now, this is a question which should be known by any person who has little bit of interest in history, not much, little bit of interest in history, and he could have done it. So it would be non-cooperation movement. A little interest in history is what was required for this question, nothing much. Which country is scheduled? This question I will not talk. This is something you should know, everybody should know. Who is the current chairman of Rajya Sabha? The chairman of Rajya Sabha is who? He is the Vice President of India. And who is the Vice President of India? Mr. Vice President is Mr. Venkaiah Naidu. So this is again a question which could have been marked by everyone. He is Mr. Venkaiah Naidu. Who was named Times Magazine 2020 Person of the Year? Now think about it. Times Magazine kahan ka hai? Where is it Times Magazine from? So Times Magazine is from US. So the person who should be in the news should be from US. And in 2020, Donald Trump was going downhill. So what should be my answer? My answer should be Joe Biden. Now, if I talk about which dance form will make its Olympics debut, this is something you should know, because if you have seen the ending ceremony, there France came up with this break dance and they showed what is coming next. Now again, I am not good with names. Not good with names. So if I talk about FICCI president, I would not be able to. So I'll again mark whatever name I have heard of. So from these four, Subhash Chandra looks something similar. So I'll mark Subhash Chandra and move. So Dono Mundo, so somebody, Mr. Somebody of Dash and Miss Somebody of Dash were named the male and female world athlete of the year, respectively, at the World's Athletics Award 2020. So now if you see the options, and we are talking about athletics. So if you have seen this part, again, what Olympics. So there Philippines won their first medal. So they should not be there. And if I talk about Mongolia, the name is never heard of, right? In terms of Olympics, right? Or if maybe I have not heard it, and then the option becomes Madagascar or Sweden. And as you have seen that I am generally marking A, I'll again mark A and move. Now this, again, I am very bad with this, that who was the first Indian sound film? I have no idea. Again, let's go with A and let's move forward. Now, who is this? I would never ever explain this. Everybody should know that these were Wright brothers. ISRO collaborated with to adopt 100 Atal Tinkering labs across the country to promote education in the field of space education and space technology. This was with Niti Aayog. This is again part of facts. Who is the head of the committee of RBI? Again, I am very bad. So we have been marking A for a long time. Let's mark something else. Let's mark B this time, because we have been marking A. So please, whenever you are marking, whenever you are guessing, try to change your guesses as well. This is again very much in news. 21-year-old Arya Rajendra became the new mayor. So this is, you just do not need to read, because you should have known from this part only that she is from this place. Greenland is the world's largest island and an autonomous territory within the kingdom of. This again you should have known that it is part of Denmark. Now we are into last 5 questions. Let's quickly mark them. So first crew from Delhi to Bareilly. So let's mark it Vistara. Tata is into all this. B12, this is something you should know. It is anemia. Then again, Formula 1, no idea. Let's mark whatever the name comes. Let's mark Aditya. Avesta is the primary collection of religious texts of Zoroastrianism. And then last, let's mark one of the dictionaries, because I am not very sure what should be the right dictionary. Let's mark Cambridge. Now comes the most important section, and this section should be very quick for you, and you should be very good with this section. Let's start this section. Presence of guilty mind is mandatory to affix criminal liability on an individual. So what the principle says, that principle says guilty mind is important, right? So you should have a guilty mind. So Ramik, a fisherman by profession, once saw some suspicious people entering into India, crossing the water borders near Mumbai. Instead of informing the naval authorities, he ignored them and continued his work. The men were later held responsible for bombing at Taj Hotel. During investigation, it was discovered by the policemen that Ramik had in fact seen them enter from the border. He was booked for the offense of criminal conspiracy. So tell me, did he ever thought about any criminal aspect? Was he having a criminal thoughts in his mind? So the answer would be clear, no. So now if you read Ramik is liable. It should not be read forward because he should not be liable. Now, if I see second, Ramik is not liable. Very good. This could be answer. Let's read others. If you read C and D, again I can see Ramik is liable is written. So I would mark B and move forward. Now, if I read this one, an employer is vicariously liable for the torturous action of his employee within the course of employment. So what I can understand from this, I am not very sure about what is vicariously liable, but what I understand is the employer is liable for any wrong employee's action. Correct? And next is a violent action for the purpose of protecting oneself is not a tort. So what it says is if you want to protect yourself, that is fine. Now, if I read the fact, Mithilesh started working as a service boy as Domino outlet in NSP, New Delhi. Chirag, a regular customer at the outlet, was highly dissatisfied with the service rendered by Mithilesh and ridiculed him in front of the whole staff. Mithilesh nevertheless kept mum and was contemplating his order when Chirag stood up and pushed him. So who started the quarrel? Chirag. Out of rage, Mithilesh responded by slapping him. So again, did he do in response? Did he do as a protection act? Right? So can I say it would not be a something taught? So neither Mithilesh nor Domino is liable. Both Mithilesh and Domino are liable. Right? Next is Domino India is vicariously. So if I see all the statement, I would say they are not liable at all. Correct? They are not liable at all. Now, if I read the next one, principle is it is not necessary to reduce an agreement to writing to make it enforceable. A contract is enforceable when the parties to a contract intend to enter into a contract. So, if I see the words would be intent, that I would make a note of it. Intent. And if I talk about here, not necessary. So, not necessary reduced to writing. These are the two words that I will make a note of. So Vijay Lakshmi was entering with LKS Associates in the New Delhi, which company only accepts diligent and sincere candidates for their internship. She was asked to do highly monotonous work one day. She was promised by the associate allocating the work that she will be treated on performing the work diligently. The associates however, did not treat her at all when the work was finished. So now if you see the word, were they talking about a contract or was that a promise? Were they ever talking about the contract or was this a promise? So it was a mere promise, and promises, as you know, promises are meant to be broken, or we should not take it like this, but again, promises are something which are not sure to be kept. So I would say the answer should be either A or C. So let's read A. Because the agreement was not reduced to writing. So this does not include, because this is again not part of the principle or against the principle. So I'll mark C and move. Now principle, inciting an individual or a group of individuals in specific or to wage war against the state amounts to the offense of sedition, right? So this is when inciting individual or group of individuals, right? So it is a targeted audience. Now if I read, fact, following Burhan Mani's death, Umar Khalid, the JNU activist, tweeted that it is righteous for the youth to pick up weapons against the rigorous rule of Indian government. So now see, where did he write? He wrote this on a social media platform. So social media platform, does he have any targeted audience? So he does not have a targeted audience. So that means he should not be liable. Now let's read the next one. Principle. Confining an individual to a fixed territory amounts to tort of false imprisonment. So means I have to confine somebody. So let's suppose this is a place. So if a person is here, he should not be made able to move out of this. Now let's read. Jatin frequently visited Jagannath Puri, the famous temple located in the state of Orissa. During the visit, he had to pass through huge lines of pilgrims to reach to the temple, but he was struck by the crowd in quite a long. Vasu, another pilgrim, deliberately blocked the way ahead and did not let Jatin pass. He sued Jatin for false imprisonment. Now, if you read, he blocked one way. So he blocked one way. He cannot go in this way. But was he confined to an area? So he was not confined to area. He was just blocked in one way. So under this principle, he is not liable. So my answer would be Vasu is not liable. And let's move. Now, okay, so that's very good. So I can see once again I have the same principle. Now, if I read, in the retirement party of Mr. Deol, his wife, sitting alone on a chair in the lawn of the residence, was approached by Mr. Gill, who wanted to have a word with her. She was not willing to speak to him and decided to leave when her way was blocked by Mr. Gill. Again, the way is blocked. Are they confined? Again, they are not confined. Again, read it carefully. So again, it is not false imprisonment. So let's read. First is liable, second is liable, so they are not correct. Third is not liable. Let's read fourth. Mr. Gill has not only confined her to a fixed territory, so this is also wrong. So again, the answer would be C. Contract is an agreement enforceable by law. Contract is restraint of marriage is void. So I think what I understand is, in restraint of marriage is void. So if I say that if you work under me, you cannot get married. So I cannot have this kind of a contract where I can restrain you from getting married. But if you want to marry, but if I say you have to marry, then it is a positive restrainment which is possible. This is what I understand from this vague sentence, right? Or maybe let's read. Mulayam, father of Akhilesh, was diagnosed with last stage brain tumor and had a little time left. He entered into a contract with his son, asking him to marry Dimple, stating that if Akhilesh was married to Dimple, all his property would transfer to Akhilesh. So again, what it says is, if you marry, you will get. So it is a conditional option where it is not saying that you have to marry. So it is said, if you marry, you will get. So it is not saying you have to marry or you have not to marry. The time Mulayam Singh passed away, Akhilesh was happily married with to Dimple. So this statement does not make any understanding. Akhilesh was happy married. The contract was, however, challenged by as void by Shivpal, nephew of Mulayam, stating that it is void ab initio. But can he challenge? He was not a party in the contract. So he was not a party in the contract, so he cannot challenge. So the contract should be valid. Now let's move. Hearsay is not admissible as evidence in the court of law. So if I have read it correctly, it says if you hear something and if you give a so if I read the word correct, testimony from the option, testimony, it is not admissible in the court of law. Let's read. Shaktiman was tried in the court of Brahma for the murder of Aryaman. During cross-examination of witness Kilvish, it was revealed that Kilvish was never told by Shaktiman that he is going to murder Aryaman. But the same was heard by him during conversation of Dr. Saluke and Gangadhar. So he has heard it. So again, if he has heard it, his testimony should not be admissible. So let's write it quickly and move forward. So again, if you see, all questions are dependent on common sense. Now, if I read, abatement comes into being when goods are delivered to a bailee by the bailer or the bailer's agent. So what I understand, I am not sure what a bailer is, but I am understanding that goods are delivered. So somebody, so from the shop to the person or the person who has bought it, so the goods are passing from the shop to the person. So bailer I am considering as the shop owner. Now if I read it, a bailer must disclose the faults of the bailment. So bailment I am understanding as the good. So a bailer, the person who is selling, should tell me about whatever flaws the thing has. And then a gratuitous bailor cannot be held liable for any harm caused by the good. So what I understand from the third one is gratuitous means out of gratitude. So without any thing in return if you are giving it. Now let's read. Isha wanted to borrow Shraddha's straightener. Shraddha had Shraddha had promised to lend it to her next evening. When Isha went to her room, Shraddha was not there. Instead, Shraddha's room, Hina gave the straightener to her, saying that Shraddha had told her to do so. So Isha took the straightener, but she plugged it in. The straightener gave her a severe electric shock. After recovering from it, she sued Shraddha. So now, if you read, did she give the straightener in any thought of getting something from her? If you read the statement, she has given it as a gratuitous bail, right? So she should not be liable. So let's read. So Isha cannot recover damages from Shraddha. So first three options cannot take. So I have to read all of them carefully. The straightener was never delivered. This is not the case. Shraddha cannot be liable for any damages called so gratuitous bailor and gratuitous bailor. There was no malified intention on. So Isha cannot recover damages as it was a gratuitous bailment and there was no malified intention on Shraddha's part. So I should mark C or B. So it is a doubt between C and B. Isha cannot recover damages and Shraddha cannot be held liable for any damages caused. So if I go back to the principle, it says not liable for harm of the goods which are given gratuitously. So malified intention does not make any sense. Now let's read the 10th one. So it says a contract in which there is lack of free consent on the part of one of the parties is voidable at the option of party whose consent was not freely taken. Free consent may be vitiated by duress. So what I understand is free consent is very important before you enter into any contract. So what is free consent? So if you have seen any movie where there is a courtroom drama where they say मैं अपने होश और हवास. So what is that? So they are talking about that in their full thought they are giving whatever they are telling is true or they are telling it freely. And duress means they are not under pressure. So free consent may be vitiated by duress. What I understand is that free consent can be changed by pressure. So Bianika is engaged to be married to Sachin. The marriage is impending and invitation cards have gone out for the same. A few months ago, Sachin had expressed a desire to gift 3 expensive watches to Benika's brothers. On the eve of the marriage, Benika threatened to break off the marriage unless Sachin gives 3 of his watches to Benika's brother. Without protesting, Sachin does so. After the marriage was concluded, Sachin asked for his watches. It is a void agreement as there was no consideration for the same. Sachin can get his watches back. So I think he can get the watches back because he did so under the pressure of his wife to break the marriage, right? Now let's read the next one. It is a voidable contract. It is a voidable agreement as Benika put Sachin under duress. So this states the correct information which is from the principle. So B should be right. Now let's move forward. Agreement beneficial to the minor are enforceable contract even if the contract has not been made by them. So it says if a contract is done on behalf of a minor, it is enforceable if it is for the benefit of that person, right? Aditya had been entrusted to the care of his guardian Pallavi. As she did not have money for Aditya's cancer medication, she sought to sell one of the houses which were in Aditya's name. The deal did not turn out to be very profit making. So again, she did this sell to profit or for the health of Mr. Aditya, who is a minor. So what should be the answer? The contract made by Pallavi is enforceable in nature as it is made for the benefit. So again, it is made for the benefit of the minor, so it should be taken. Now let's read the second one. The contract made by Pallavi is not enforceable. It is wrong because it is enforceable. It is hard to gauge Pallavi's intention behind making the contract. In such cases, the contract should not be enforceable. So again, not be enforceable would not be valid. Aditya cannot invalidate the contract as it is being performed. So again, there is nothing about this performance issue. So I'll go with A. Now let's read this. Whosoever intend to take dishonesty by movable property out of the possession of any person without that person's consent moves the property in order to such taking is said to commit theft. So Rahul wanted to steal umbrella so he has intent, right? Intending to take dishonesty or any movable property. When in Later's house, Ramesh secretly took the umbrella and moved towards the door. So has the property being moved? So it is being moved. So can I say it is a theft? It is a theft. Now let's read further. The door to take it away without Ramesh consent. But he was seen by Ramesh servant, and looking at this, he instantly dropped the umbrella and ran from the house. He couldn't take the umbrella away. But if you read it, can I say he should be charged? Because he moved the property, he has the intent. So it should be. Now let's move forward. Nuisance is an unlawful interference with person's use of enjoyment of his land or some right over or in connection with it. So Rahul was the owner of a shop selling firework. To convince his customer as the quality of the firework sold by him, he resorted to bursting extremely loud firecrackers during the midnight, which disturbed many people sleeping in the surrounding areas. The people from the surrounding areas brought an action against him, right? So if you read it, he created nuisance because he resorted to bursting loud crackers in the midnight just for his business. So again, he is liable for the nuisance. Mere intention to commit an offense is not an offense. So thinking about an offense or intention about an offense is not an offense. So if I am thinking about killing someone, is not a crime. Or if I am thinking about stealing something, it is not a crime until I have stolen. So again, if I talk about the previous one, I have moved the property, I have to do something. So now let's read. Ramesh went to a mall to murder Rahul. When inside the mall, he told everyone that he had the intention of the murder Rahul and therefore wanted to know his address. Knowing this, Rahul sued him and Ramesh was prosecuted. So again, if you read it, mere intention does not result. So again, he should not be liable. So if I read it, I would go for C or D, right? Then let's read C and D carefully. Ramesh is not liable because he merely had the intention. This is the correct words which we are looking for. Now let's look for this. Only those agreements which are enforceable by law are contracts. Agreements which have illegal objects are not enforceable. Now let's read. Rahul entered into an agreement with Ramesh to murder Rakesh. So tell me, is murder legal? Is murder a legal thing? So murder is illegal. So again, if murder is illegal, this contract must be void. So let's read. The agreement is a contract because it is followed by consideration. The agreement is not a contract. Just go with this and do not read further. When a person directly interferes with goods in the possession of another without lawful justification, it is called trespass. So I think this is talking about if I am taking something from you without your consent, it is a trespass, right? Interferes with good possession in another. So something which you have, if I take it without your permission, it is a trespass. So if I read, Rahul is like, okay, so let's read. Rahul was a friend of Ramesh. When the former went to the house of the latter, he secretly and without the consent of the latter took the gold spoon of the former, which was very valuable. So he has taken a very valuable possession. So I would say he has done a trespass. So Rahul is liable for a trespass. Now let's read this. No person accused of an offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. So this is a very famous saying which says that if you are working again, you cannot give anything against yourself. So Rahul had been accused of a murder. However, at the time of questioning, he had been interrogated by two different teams of policemen, and finally he confessed that he had committed murder. According to the regular procedure, interrogation had to be only by one team. The reality was that he had not committed murder. So let's read. Rahul has been forced to be a witness in the case because of the two teams in question. This could be an answer. Rahul has not been forced to a witness in the case. Do not know. Rahul has been forced to be witness against himself because he was finally confessed the murder. So I am not very sure what to mark in this. I would have gone with A because it says that he was questioned by two teams and he should have been questioned by only one team. Now let's move forward. Assertion reason. So here I am very much, my hands are tied because I am not very sure what to be written, but I think you guys are much prepared. So you guys would be in a much better position to answer this question, right? But again, let's read it. In the event of a violation of any legal right, the aggrieved party is entitled to recover unliquidated damages. The object of awarding damages to the aggrieved party is to put him in the same position. Let's mark it without wasting time. Let's mark it. Under the Employees Contract Act, the employer is liable to compensate any employee who suffers from total disablement in the course of employment. So, if an employment is being disabled during the employment, he would be liable to be paid by the employer. Total disablement is defined as an injury which incapabilities the employee from doing all the work which he was capable of performing. So explanation is very good. Rahul, a carpenter, lost his hand while in the course of employment. As a result, he could not perform his work, which led to loss of his earning. In this case, is this a case of total? So because he was not able to perform his work, it is a case. So let's read. So two no's I can cancel. So let's read yes. Yes, as the nature of the work is such that he would not be able to work without left hand. As Rahul is not able to perform the work that he was capable of performing before the accident. So I will go with C. Now let's read this. If the object of an agreement is or become unlawful or immoral or opposed to public policy in the eye of law, then the court will not enforce such agreement. Laws generally prohibit child labor. So what I understand is point number 2, which is law generally prohibits child labor. I am not very sure what first one says. Let's read. Pramod enters into an agreement with Tina by which Pramod was to let his house to Tina for 2 years and Tina was to pay 20K per month to Pramod as rent. Tina started running a child care center in that house, but after some time, in order to earn some money for the maintenance of the center, Tina starts sending the children of the center on rotation basis to work for 4 hours a day in some nearby chemical and hazardous factories. When Pramod comes to know about this new development, he asks Tina either to stop children from working in the factories or to leave the house immediately. Tina neither agrees to leave nor the house nor to stop the children from working in the factories. Pramod files a suit. So now I am understanding from the principle too that it is a case of child labor, and she has committed child labor. She has made people work in those things. So I would say Pramod will succeed. And there is only one option which says Pramod should succeed. Now let's move forward. A contract cannot be enforced by or against a person who is not a party. However, where some benefit is conferred to the third party by the contract itself, then the third party can be allowed to enforce the contract to such benefits. So Umesh is liable to pay 50,000 to Suresh. In order to discharge his liabilities, Umesh enters into a contract with Ramesh. So Umesh enters into a contract with Ramesh, by which Umesh sells his car to Ramesh for 1 lakh rupees, and Ramesh takes the delivery of the car and assures to pay 1 lakh. Umesh separately informs Suresh about the contract for his satisfaction. Ramesh fails to pay the car price. Suresh wants to join Umesh in filing the suit against Ramesh for the recovery of the price of the car. Whether Suresh is, so again the benefit was confirmed, so I think he can. So let's read. So Suresh is entitled to do so because Umesh is liable to him and discharge. This does not make sense. So contract was made for his benefit. This is what I think could be the answer. Let's see. So contract, so very big principle, very big principle. Let's read it quickly. A contract which is duly supported by real and lawful consideration is well. So this is something very long. I would read the option, read the fact, and then try to answer. Asta has been married to Kushal for last 4 years. Kushal is abusive husband. One day Kushal came home with his best friend Darsh. Kushal ordered Asta to sell her Apple MacBook Pro for some price and worth rupees 80,000 for 900. She agreed to sell. So again, here it is mentioned he was an abusive husband. So she would have agreed under stress as well. She agreed to sell, and which are the following. So no contract between Asta because consideration is not adequate. There is no contract between Asta and Darsh because laptop, but I am not sure if I am willingly paying something, I could willingly give my things to anyone at any price. There is no contract as Asta is selling MacBook Darsh at such. So again, B and C does not make sense. Let's see what A or none of these. There is no contract between Asta and Darsh because consideration is not adequate. So I can say consideration could be considered. Now let's move. Asta has been married to Kushal for last 4 years. She agreed to sell. Now here she agreed to sell. So she has given her full consent at 1/10 of the actual price. So there is no contract. So this contract is valid because she has agreed. So for this, I think I am sure. Now let's move forward. So a company has perpetual succession, which means that after a company is set up, it may continue to exist and function until it is wound up or the object for which it was set up is achieved. The identity of the company remains as long as it continues to conduct its business under the same name and terms. In fact, Abha and Abhay set up a company known as Fun Times, but they have some dispute and about the way company is supposed to work after the company has been incorporated, but before it being business, Abha leaves the company and starts a company called Fun Day Abhay is delusioned and leaves too. Fun time is now managed by professional CEO. So it is a company because it is managed by a professional CEO. So company does not exist, does not exist. This is wrong. Let's see. So I think we are running out of time for this section. So let's quickly mark all six. So randomly, let's mark randomly. So this is again very long. I would never read such a long question in exam. This looks small. Let's read it. The legal provisions to give authority to a person to use necessary force against an assailant or wrongdoer for the purpose of protecting one's own body and property, as also another body and property when immediate aid from the state machinery is not readily available. And so doing, he is not answerable in law for his deeds. A fact that B was bowling. I am not very sure what to mark. Let's mark some. So now this is something which I would have liked to start with, but again, I would have gone in the same sequence being a law aspirant. So I am working as a law aspirant. Now let's look at this. In a family, so this is a family of 3 generations. So let's make 3 generations, first, second, third, with 6 males and 5 females. All of them are mentioned below. There are 5 couples. So 5 couples, so that means that everybody should be married. So all 5 females should be married. Yes, all 5 females should be married, right? So if all 5 females are to be married, then there would be one male who will not be married. Correct? Now let's read it. The family settled in Pune and Mumbai. Ashok, Suhas' grandfather. So can I say Ashok should be in the highest family and Suhas should be in the lowest? Because Ashok is grandfather of Suhas, right? And he has 2 sons. So there would be 2 sons here. Correct? Now let's read again. Ramesh, Revti's son, stays in Mumbai with his only daughter and his niece, Rani. So if you read this, you see that Ramesh is Revti's son and Ramesh also has a daughter. So Ramesh would be 2nd generation and Revti would be top generation. Correct? And he stays with her only daughter, his only daughter and his niece Rani. So Rani would be the last generation. Now let's look at it. Next one. Ravi is Usha's son-in-law who practices medicine. So this is something I would mark. Asha stays with her daughter Maya and in her mother-in-law. So can I say Asha would be from the 2nd generation? And she stays with her daughter Jaya. Jaya should be from the bottom. So Asha stays with her daughter Jaya. So Asha's daughter Jaya. And mother-in-law in Mumbai, but not with her son-in-law Anand. So can I say these two should be married? Correct? Who stays in Pune? Suhas, Suresh son, Suhas, Suresh's son is Jaya's cousin. So if somebody is Jaya's cousin, that means Jaya's father's brother son hona chahiye. So Suhas, Suresh's son is Jaya's cousin. So Suresh must be the other child. Correct? And Suhas is Suresh's son. So Suhas is Suresh's son. Correct? So that means these two people are married because they must be. He is Jaya's the other thing, and Ravi is Usha's son-in-law and lives in Mumbai. So Usha could be only possible here, right? And Usha's son-in-law. So Usha's son-in-law means he should be married to Rani, correct? So who is this person? Ravi. Now let's talk about places. So and Ashok lives with one of his two sons in Pune. So Ashok is in Pune and one of his son is in Pune. So either it could be this or this. Ravi is Usha's son-in-law and practices. So Ravi is in Mumbai. Asha stays with her daughter Jaya and mother-in-law in Mumbai. So this and this should be Mumbai and this should be Pune. Suhas. So how many couples do not stay together? Now we are only given information about Jaya and Anand, not about others. If I see, I have no information about Asha and Ramesh, Suresh and Usha and Ashok and Revati. So I am not sure which one should be the answer. So I would go with cannot be determined and move forward. Now if I read this, which of the following statement is incorrect pair? Ravi and Rani, Ravi and Rani. Suresh and Usha, Suresh and Usha. Ramesh and Jaya, it is wrong. So Ramesh and Jaya should be the answer. Ashok and Revati is there. So now again I have different question. Let's read the question. There are 6 international superheroes which are Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Flash, He-Man, Phantom. There are 4 Indian superheroes, Agniputra, Nagaraj, Dhoomketu and Dhruv. In order to fight an arch villain who threatens world peace, a team of 6 superheroes must be chosen subject to following condition. At least 2 Indians should be there. So let's make it 2 Indians minimum. If Spider-Man is chosen, Superman must be there. So Spider-Man, Superman would be always together. And Phantom cannot be together. So Phantom should not be there. Flash and Nagaraj cannot be together. So Flash and Nagaraj cannot be together. And Indian superheroes will work outside India only when Spider-Man is in the team. Only if Spider-Man is in the team. So if Spider-Man is part of the team, then Indians can work outside. Correct? This is what it says. Now let's read the further. If Dhoomketu works on an assignment outside India, so if outside India, so that means Spider-Man should be in the team. Then which of the following superheroes cannot be on the team for the same team assignment? So again, now if you read the question carefully, it says Spider-Man is in the team, Spider-Man is in the team, so Phantom cannot be assigned. So just mark Phantom. In the previous question, maximum number of Indians. So let's talk about maximum. Minimum is given to me as 2. Total I have 4 people, 4 Indians. So maximum could be 4. Let's see if they can be. So if Spider-Man is there, then Superman should also be there. So two positions are always gone. So the maximum positions which are left for Indians is 4. And the number of people who are Indian is maximum 4. So I would go with 4. Let's move forward. For an international assignment that is outside India, 3 international and 3 Indian superheroes must be chosen. And Agniputra, let's rub some part. And Agniputra has a cold and is unable to be part of the team. Which of the superheroes cannot be chosen? So if he cannot be part of the team, so can I say all the other 3 Indians should be there because there are 3 Indians and 3 international. So 3 Indians apart from Agniputra would be Nagaraj, Dhoomketu, Dhruv. And if they are working outside of India, then Spider-Man must be on the team. If Spider-Man is on the team, then Superman should also be on the team. Then Phantom should not be on the team. Sorry, Phantom. So Phantom should not be on the team. So this person should not be on the team. So because the option cannot be determined as is mentioned, let's read further. So again, there was an issue with Nagaraj and F. Who is F? So F is Flash. So Flash can also not be on the team. So this is also not possible. So again, the answer should be cannot be determined. So always understand when you have this question, if you had 4 options different, you could have marked one of them. But as you do not have 4 different options, you have one of the options which is CBD, you will check. Now let's do this one. So there are 5 friends A, B, C, D, E. Right? They work in 5 different cities, each one from different mother tongue. So A works in Mumbai and his mother tongue is not Punjabi. A works in Mumbai and his mother tongue is not Tamil, not Punjabi. Correct? C's mother tongue is Punjabi and he works in Bangalore. C works in Bangalore and his mother tongue is Punjabi. The one who works in Delhi has Tamil as mother tongue. So the one who works in Delhi has mother tongue as Tamil. Correct? So this will go wherever they will go together. The one either D or E works in Kolkata, so we do not know whom, but none of them has Marathi or Tamil as mother tongue. So here I will cancel Marathi and Tamil. Here I will also cancel Marathi and Tamil. So now if you see, Marathi and Tamil are cancelled and Tamil is cancelled here as well. So Tamil can only come at this place. And if Tamil goes here, Delhi would go here. So Delhi and Tamil. Now if Delhi and Tamil are here, Marathi cannot go at the last 2 places. So Marathi has to be here. Correct? So these are the 3 things that I can map. Now let's read. Now I do not have any information to map anything, so I'll stay here. Now let's read. If E's mother tongue is Hindi, so if E's mother tongue is Hindi, if E's mother tongue is Hindi, who works in Kolkata? So the one who has Kannada mother tongue does not work in Mumbai or Kolkata. So this is Hindi, then this would be Kannada. So here Kolkata cannot come. So here Kolkata will come. So this would be E. Now let's delete whatever we have added for this question and let's go forward. Now if I look at this question, what is the mother tongue of A? This is simple from whatever information we have got. Who works in Delhi? B. Which of the following pair represent 2 people not facing each other? Okay, so this is a different question. So let's make it. So A, B, C are playing cards on an octagonal table. So let's make an octagonal table. They are facing center. So all are facing center. D sitting at the north side of the table. So let's make the north, south, east, west. So D must be sitting here, north side of the table. A and G sit opposite to each other. So wherever E sits, opposite would be G. And wherever G sits, opposite would be A. There are 3 positions between H and D. So let's count 3 positions. 1, 2, 3. So he should be opposite in both cases. So H should be here. B is sitting beside G but not beside H. So B cannot come at these 2 positions, but let's wait. F is sitting at a southwest place side of the table beside A. So southwest would be this side. So here should be F and F is beside A. This place cannot be A. So this place has to be A. So this place has to be G. Now remember we had one statement with G. So B is sitting beside G but not beside H. Beside G but not beside H. So B must be here. Now let's read further. Two people are sitting between C and G. So C can come either here or here. So if you see two persons are sitting 1, 2, so C must be here. And who is remaining? Who is remaining? If you see A, B, C, D, E is remaining. So E all are done, correct? Now let's look at the first question. Which of the following pair represent two people not facing each other? Not facing each other. B and F, they are facing each other. They are facing each other. If I talk about A and G was given in the part of the question. D and H also. So the answer would be C and G. Now next. Which of the following statement is correct? B is sitting at the northwest side of the table. Northwest side. So it is wrong. A is sitting between F and C. F and C. So this is correct. E is sitting between G and H. Now if C and H exchange their seat, so let's exchange them. C and H exchange their seat. So number of people between B and C remain same. So here it was 1, here it is 2, wrong. E will be opposite to C, wrong. A and H will be neighbor. A and H are neighbors. This would be right. So let's correct it again. So which of the following statement is wrong? D is sitting in the north. That is part of the question. E is sitting opposite to C. Correct. H is sitting between E and F. Correct. D is sitting between A and H. Wrong. Next. Okay. So these are very time-consuming questions. So let's draw. A plus B. A plus B. A is greater than B. B star C. B star C. B is either equal to or greater than C. And C into D. Where is C into D? C is equal to D. So this is what we have found. Now let's look at the options. A plus B. So what is A plus B? A plus B. A is greater than C. So if A is greater than B and B is greater than equal to C, so A has to be greater than C. So this is true. Now let's see the next one. D is something something. So D is either less than, either equal or smaller than M. So D is smaller than or equal to B. Correct? So if you see, this is quite possible. So this is also true. So both are true. So always what you need to do in the first step is, whatever they have given 3 things, just try to draw them in one single line. And what happens is, I have generally seen people drawing them in 3 different lines. What happens is, to combine them, it becomes a tough task. Now if I look at this question again, second one. So now I have EH something something, this E. So H is either less than, either equal to or smaller than E. Now I have E plus F. E is greater than F. And last is F hash G. F is smaller than G. So now if I look at this now, I would say I cannot relate any two which are not directly related. I cannot do any relationship which are not directly related because all signs are opposite. All consecutive signs are opposite in nature. So I cannot tell what would be the answer. So from here itself, my answer should be none of these. But if you want to try, you can try. H hash F. H is smaller than M. Sorry, H is smaller than F. Can I say that? I am not sure. I am not sure. Because it could be 5, it could be 1, it could be 10. Sorry, it could not be 10. It could be 4. Or it could be 4, it could be 1. I am not sure. Then if I see the next one, G plus H. G is greater than H. Again, G and H. Oh, rather, G and H are the extreme ends. So again, I cannot connect them. So my answer would be none. For such type of a question, it is very good that you form something like this. Now, if I see the next one, T. So let's draw it again. T U. So T is either equal or smaller than U. U cross V. U cross V. U is equal to V. And S hash V dot hash S. V hash S. V is smaller than M. Now can you see all are either similar or equal? Now I can make something. S is greater than T. And if I talk about this, T is what? Less than equal to any of them, it would be correct. Because T is less than equal to U and U is equal to V. So I can move V here. So it is correct, it is correct, it is both correct. So if these are the questions that are coming to your exam, they would help you a lot to score good marks because they are something which you can make directly at the spot. P star Q, let's make P star Q. P star Q is P is less than or equal to, P is either equal or greater than, so P is greater than equal to Q. Or rather, it should work like this. Or P is equal to Q. So basically same thing. Now next is Q plus R. Q plus R is Q is greater than R. And next is R double dash O. R is either less than, so this is reverse. And what? O. Now if I have to connect O and Q I cannot connect because the signs are opposite. So this I cannot connect. R hash P. What is R hash P? R hash P. R is smaller than P. This is true. So I'll go with second statement. Are you guys doing with me? Please do it. Please try it. If you have not solved it, it will help you guys only. Now let's do this. X hash Y. X hash Y. What is X hash Y? X hash Y. X is smaller than Y. Y star Z. Y star Z. Y is either greater than or equal to, Y is greater than or equal to Z. And Z is double hash, Z is either. So what should I mark? So Z hash X, Z is smaller than M. Z is smaller than X. Can I make it? No. Y is Y star W. Y is either greater than or equal to W. So I cannot say any of these. So neither would be my answer. Okay. So now I have a set. This looks a typical set. Let's do it. 8. Okay. So this is a big one. So let's see what is the time. So we have some time. We have some 12 minutes. Like, chalo, let's do it. 8 people, some these people. So let's draw a line. Are sitting on a straight line facing north. Each one of them has birthday from May to December of the same year, but not necessarily in the same order. So Geeta sits third to the right of the person born in September. So I will write September third to the right. So here Geeta, correct? So I can go till end. Now the person who was born in December sits to the right of Geeta. Sits to the sits second to the right. So second to the right. So I have divided December here. So what I am doing is I am writing all the months at the denominator, and on the numerator I am writing the name of the person. Is it correct? So that is what I am doing here. Now let's look at it. Let's look at it. Sona and Anjali are immediate neighbors to each other. So can I say Sona and Anjali would always be together? So let's write this information somewhere where it does not hinder. So Sona and Anjali, correct? They are always together. Neither Sona nor Anjali date of birth is September or December. So they are not born on September or December. Neither Sona nor Anjali are immediate neighbors of Geeta. So they are not neighbors of Geeta. Now if you see, there are 6 places which you have already made. So 6 places already made, and there are 8 people. So either this block would come here, or either it would come here. Let's understand where it should go. Okay. Only 3 persons sit between Anjali. So let's keep this line underlined because we have not done anything. So the person whose birth date is in June sits to the immediate left of Sonali, who is at the extreme end. So somebody sits here and Sonali is here, and it says it is the one end. So now tell me, if she is at one end, then she must be at the right end because she has somebody on the left. So she must be on the right hand. So if she must be on the right hand, so can I say Sonali should come here? So if Sonali comes here, June must come here, right? So can I say, now I can cancel out that these 2 persons have to be here. These 2 persons have to be here. So now I will draw 2 places where I can say Sonali and Anjali would come. So Sona and Anjali would come in any order. As of now, I do not know the order. Correct? The person whose birth date is in June. So this is done. Now Savita sits third to the right of the person whose birth date is May. Neither Sona and Anjali have birth dates in May, so they do not have in May also. They do not have in September. They do not have in December. Only one person sits between Anjali and Gauri, and not Ricky. Ricky was one. Okay, so here I have the important thing. Sona is at the extreme end. So can I say, now can I be sure that Sona would sit here and Anjali would sit here? So now I know these 2 things. So from here now, Anjali was born in August. Now let's see, Savita birth date is not December. So December is already gone. Now let's go back and see. Savita sits, only 3 persons sit between Anjali and the person whose birth date is November. So 3 persons, 1, 2, 3. So this should be November. Correct? Now, if I read again, there the person whose birth date is in June, Savita sits 3rd place to the. So now think about it. Where could Savita sit? So Savita sits 3rd place to the person born in May. So if this person is born in May, so here Savita would sit, but he is not born in May. She is not born in May. These 2 places are already gone. If here comes May, 3rd place would be here. So these are the only 2 possibilities. So this would be May, this would be Savita. Correct? So this is Savita, this is Sonali. Born after Sona, who was born after Anjali? Neither Sona. Only 1 person sits between Anjali and Gauri. So Anjali and Gauri. So here it should be Gauri. And because it is not Ricky, so only place for Ricky is this. Rinki, sorry, my bad. So who is left? Sona, Gauri, Rinki, Sonali, Anjali, Kamal. So Kamal has to come here. Now what do we have? Any other information that we have? Geeta was born after Sona. Geeta was born after Sona. So November se pehle. Who was born after Anjali? So August, after August. And we are left with 2 months, which is July and October. Is it? So who was born after Anjali? So Anjali should have born first. So this should be October. This should be July. Correct? Correct? Does it look right? Does it look right? So which of the following was the month born for Savita was born? So can you tell me which could be the month for Savita's birth? So which could be the month for Savita's birth? So Savita would be June. Correct? Who among the following are sitting at the extreme ends? Sonali and Sona. The person sitting are September and Anjali. No. The person whose birth dates are December and October. This should be the answer. B should be the answer. Ricky and Geeta, not possible. And Sona and the person with the birth in September, not possible. Now, which of the following is true for Sonali? Sonali's birth date is October. No. Only 2% sit left of the Sonali. So pura, all are sitting to the left. Sonali is sitting second to the right of the person whose birthday is in November. November second to the right. Savita is related to November in a certain way. Savita, November. Gauri is related to September. August, Kamal. How many person is sitting between Ricky and the person whose birth date is December? Ricky, December, 2 people. Who amongst the following sit exactly between Anjali and Gauri? Anjali and Gauri. Kamal. The person whose birth is September. Now, this is something which is very challenging according to me. So let's try and do it. Statement and course of action. A good number of students who have failed in the HSC examination owing to faculty faulty question paper in maths paper 1. All the students who have failed in the subject should be allowed to take a supplementary examination. They should be. Those who are responsible for the error should be suspended and That is also true. A retest of the said paper. So now either it should be a retest or it should be a supplementary paper. It cannot be both from what I understand. So either it should be 1 or 2 or 2 or 3. And we do not have a 2 or 3. So it has to be 1 or 2. Oh, now let's do it very slowly. Some mangoes are grapes, no grapes are plum. Some mangoes are grapes. No grapes are plum. No grapes are plum. So plum would be here as well as plum would be here. No plum are grapes. No plum are grapes. That is true because it is true from here only. Some mangoes are plums. Some mangoes are plum. So it is also possible. It is also possible. So it should have been C. Let's look at this. All drums are guitars. All drums are guitars. All guitars are banjos. And no banjos are played. Very good. This is drums. So no played are drum. No played are drum. Obviously. Oh, this is drums. No played are drums. Some guitar are played. Some guitar are played. How can guitar be played? This is not possible. So only one follows. What is this? Oh. Some saints, some ants are saints, some saints are yellow. What to be done? Each of the question consists of 6 statements followed by. Oh, so we have to either go for all 4 option making. So it will be time taking. So should we mark B for all? Mandan says I do not have shampoo. This is the same as saying Madhav does not have bath, no. Madhav does not have washing powder, no. Run out of shampoo. Okay. Now comes the toughest section for me. Toughest section. Let's try and do. Examine the following. So reproduction, seed, dispersal, growth, pollination, germination. What would be the correct sequence of this? So what would be the correct sequence? So what should be the first thing? The first thing should be either 1 or 2, but 1 is not there, so 2 should be the first thing. So 2 is first thing in these 2 statements. Now if I see second is 6 and second is 4. So second is 4 growth and 6 germination. And after growth, there is reproduction, pollination, and here after germination, growth, reproduction, pollination, dispersal. So I think it looks like B. I'm not sure. Let's do this one. You may devise a plan, but its execution is not entirely in your hand. All that glitters is not gold. This does not make sense. Man possesses, God disposes. This could be answer. Necessity is the mother. No. Blood is thicker than water. I have no idea about this. Instead of telling me you are smart, prove it in your accomplishment is equivalent to. So it is simple. Instead of telling me you are smart, prove it to me. So actions speak louder than words. A person who has altruistic concern for human welfare and advancement. It should be what? Human welfare and advancement. A welfare. See, I do not know any of the meaning. Beneficiary, I know. And philanthropist, I know. Philanthropists are people who donate a lot. And beneficiary is the person who will get benefit. So it should be philanthropist. Illusion. No idea what this word means. What is meant by illusion? What is any answers? Let's move. Things we have seen, the things we have, so whatever we have seems less valuable than what other people have, right? So it is very famously called in Hindi that दूसरों की थाली में ज़्यादा घी दिखता है. So let's see what English word would be. A bird in hand is worth two in bushes. No, the grass is always, this should be the answer. Grass is always greener on the other side. So let's see how long is the passage. So passage is very long. So for now, I'll not do the passage. For now, I'll go forward and check and not do the passage. So the word which does not belong with the others. So almond, apricot, cashew, and cherry. So if you know, these three are dry fruits and this is a fruit. Now, if I say preface, story, something, and review. So I think all the three things, I'm not sure about the third one, but the first two things are part of the book, and third thing is after it is done. So if I say preface and story is part of some book, but review must come after the book has come. So I think this should be the answer, but I am not sure what this word means. So I am not 100% sure. Find the odd one out. Peridot, zircon, sapphire, torpicus. So because you must have seen I wear stones, so I have some idea about stones. So the last three ones are stones. So zircon, sapphire, and torpicus, जो भी है. So these three are stones. So this should be the answer. So jury is to trial, arbitrator is to fight, dispute, case, or defense. So jury does the trial. Arbitrator does what? Arbitrator fight, no. Defense, no. It should be either dispute or case. It should be either dispute or case. What should be the answer? So jury is to trial. So jury does a trial. Arbitrator solves a case or solves a dispute. So what should be? Let's mark. Find the odd one out. General, brigadier, colonel, and admiral. So if you have known any of the branches, so you would know that admiral is not part of army, and all the three are part of army. And admiral and are the part of, I think if I'm not wrong, they are part of navy. Oh, again, big one. So let's read it. According to the data from Indian Meteorological Department, maximum city's highest, longest ever 24-hour rainfall record. So rainfall is always highest, I think. So highest rainfall is in Cherrapunji or something like this. So I think first one should be A. Is it? What do you think? What does everybody think? So first one should be A. So let's see. Now I would not go, I will go with either this or this. So first one is A according to me. Now if you see, second one is B in both the cases. So I will leave B. And let's check B because it will make me sure that other two are wrong. Let's check B. What is B? At the Indian Santa Cruz station representing the city City is local or suburban area. So it should be suburban area. So it should be B for sure. Correct? So this is correct. So now let's move to the third one. The biggest extreme rainfall day was July 26, 2005, when a cloud burst bolted or belted down. So again, I am not sure what should be the right word. So again, let's see where is the next difference. So next difference in the fourth one. So the pouring or the downpour. So second last should be B. Is it? So I would go with C. Sorry, D. Is it B now, right? A, B, A, B, A. So it should be D according to me. Now let's see. Markets have turned a tad Shakespeare about a eventual or B terminal. So it should be eventual. So first is A. So let's first find out. So I have to talk about. Now let's look at second one. We will be clear with the second one. Eventual outcome of Vimal Janan, to pay or not to pay, to be or not to be. Again confused at the second step. So I'm not sure. Let's see. The third step is different. Yes. Is it to the committee will award a fiscal or money? So it is fiscal. That is for sure. So if you see, it is always fiscal policy by the government. So here it should be A. So third one should be A. So it should be D. I would mark D. Right? So this is getting tough for me. So sporadic violence against doctors and health workers occur across the world, but it is usually, so stuck is does not make sense. It is usually limited to threats. So stuck to threats doesn't mean anything. So it is limited. So it should be B. So now let's narrow it down to B. Correct? Now let's go forward. So second is A. So second is A. And third one, let's check for third one. So second is A. Influence of alcohol or illegitimate drugs or illegal drugs. It should be illegal drugs. What is illegitimate drugs? It should be illegal drugs. So third one should be B. So this should be the answer. Now let's read it. The weekly budget is likely to pose the first for the new administration. First what? First what? So the correct word could be first crisis or first dilemma. Teaser and quiz does not make sense. So it should be either first crisis or dilemma. So I'll go with dilemma for now. Let's move forward. So to understand why, however, one must dash current map. So I would say endorse. I'm not sure what should be the right word. Activity has been losing. This is clear. Losing momentum. Because losing mechanism does not make sense. Impulse does not make sense. Vim does not make sense. So momentum should be the right word. Now let's move forward. To be sure, so this is 20. To be sure, some dash pressure. Translucent, transparent, these two are wrong. So it should be transcendental or transient. Let's mark D. Pre-election one-off regularity charges. So what is pre? So I would go for uncertainty. This is something from common sense that before the election, what is the condition? It is uncertain. And but even controlling for this, underlying growth momentum is dash several headwinds. Yielding, I think. By 2030, India is expected to lose an equivalent of 34 million jobs as a result of global warming, says a report released by International Labour Law. The report, working on a warmer planet, the impact of heat stress on labor productivity and decent work, anticipate an increase in heat stress resulting from global warming. It projects global productivity losses equivalent to 80 million full-time jobs in 2030, and projection of 34 million jobs would make India the worst affected. So if I read the first statement, an International Labour Organization report productivity losses of 80 million, I think this is from the statement. I think this is from the statement. Somewhere I saw 80 million full-time jobs by 2030. By 2030, with India, so it is directly from the statement. If I read it, let's read the other one. India will have to bear the burden of productivity loss of full-time jobs owing, not sure. Global warming is responsible for loss of productivity in full-time jobs according to with effect. So this also can be right, but here facts are also mentioned. So again, two facts are mentioned. India might be the worst affected, losing productivity jobs in a global loss of this due to increased heat stress owing to global. So it is very confusing. So here also all the facts are present. Let's go with A only. Not sure what to be done. Selfie is a global sensation at the very big question. Let's mark something and move. Caducity, no idea what this word means. Because caducity has overcome the elderly woman, she is no longer able to remember things. Care for herself. No idea. The party hoped to gerrymander the election by changing the geographical. Manipulate. Let's talk about manipulate. The guess is, your guess is as good as mine. So here, if I am making a guess, if I talk about guess, so the speaker is not imaginative. The speaker does not know. Sir, yes. So if the speaker is also guessing, when do you guess? So today we are guessing. So how are we guessing? When we do not know? Bed of roses. What is bed of roses? A botanical garden, a mattress made of roses, a challenge, a easy situation. Glad to see the back of. Glad to sit in the last bench. No. Happy to see someone depart. Happy to see someone go. So again, one very large. Passages away. Oh wow. What is this word? Piquant. What should I write? Any idea? Would you like to help me on this? Would you all like to help me on this? I have some time. Oh, I am running out of time. Can you quickly help me out for this? I am looking at the votings for this question. Can I have some votings for this one? Or can you write question number 48, your answer? Question number 48, your answer? Nobody? So let's mark. I could see last answer is D. I have marked D. True rogue. I think it should be Marshall. What is this word? I do not know even how to pronounce it. So let's mark a word which is not pronounced. Imbro, whatever it is. Now let's look at the passages quickly. So please read the passage with me. So let's read the passage. So the term Ikigai is composed of two Japanese words. So let's do it. Which of the following is true to the passage? There is nothing you could do or be today that would be an expression of your Ikigai. Japanese culture actually words with means reason for being. The practice for Ikigai is experience of Japanese people. The educational, professional, and life directional path based on less deep. So deeper is cancelled. The practice of Ikigai is exclusive. This is also wrong. Nothing you could do or be today that would be expression. This is also wrong. Which of the following question is not in line with the so here he is only talking about things which are about your talent, about your passion, and about those things. So I think the answer should be about not would be for settle. So always read the question where it says not, because if you go in quick, you will mark the first statement. So why does the author give example of Arthur Trent, Price, E, and this person to show how passion can be a vehicle to change contribution? This should be the answer. So reflect various aspects of life, I am not very sure of. Think of unique skills you have, yes. Find out what change, so this should be B and C. The author of the passage is most likely. So the options are very good. If the options were a little difficult, I would have not been able to do this. But again, the options are very simple. Dentist, carpenter, and postman does not make sense at all. So it has to be a philosopher, no doubt at all. When do we become more generative, more magnetic, and more dynamic in our ability to navigate challenges? When we conduct our duties to family and society, when we appreciate for what we do, when we do activities that we are proud of to show off. I think this should be the answer. Or when we are immersed in an endeavor that brings in us, yeah, this should be the answer. He's talking this one. I felt confusing. What did you feel? Which kind of a passage was this? Acrimonious, I am not sure what it is. Motivational, did not look motivational, is it? The truth is, many of the challenges we face in today's world are not simple. They are complex. No, I am not sure. Confusing, I feel. My first thought was confusing, very confusing. What do you feel? Please write. What is the synonym of spontaneous? Spontaneous means what? Whatever happens naturally. So it should be natural. A rock star who has taken to TED Talk lecturing alcohol abusers to go clean. Which of the following people are in line with Ikigai? I do not think one. A CEO who has taken up philanthropy, yes. A teacher who teaches children, so I think B should be the answer. So if you were to meet the author of this passage, what would you ask him? That why did you wrote this passage? How you earned enough money for your future? No. How you have absolute power? No. Are you on the path of becoming a hero? No. Have you aligned your skills and gifts with higher cause? I think this with regards to the, let's read the last one. Call it the 5 stars. Tech company builds popular products. Product is exposed. in press for doing something shady behind the scene. Tech company apologizes, clarifies, signals affix, brief phases of collective rejoice and moving on. It's revealed usually by the piece by rough trajectory. So please read with me, or rather read at your own speed. I'll also read. Hmm. So which companies? So I could remember whatever the names were. I think Google and Amazon were the main names mentioned. Was it? So the author, what is the author's contention? He is accused certain companies of violating data. No. So it was something about tracking, right? So was it this? It was something about tracking. He doesn't like the functioning of certain companies. I think this was it. He was talking about tracking only, right? The CEO Rahul Vora response. So he did respond somewhere. Let's see. CEO Rahul. He wrote he focused only on he did not, I'm not very sure what he said that they did not store data. I think he was talking about this. Where is Rahul Vora? Bad actors. So bad actors, something related to bad players. So how does Davison interpret Bora's statement? He did interpret, right? The company is unaware of the feedback. So he was talking about something unable, simply ignored. Did they simply ignore? Let's see. There was Davison. It just did not listen. Doesn't mean that company was unaware. So company was unaware is not the answer. So first is not the answer. The company. So Mike Dawson is former who's Google engineer. Which of the following statement is true? Data invasion by design is by design. Markets are attracted. So first one only. Which of the following steps does the passage refer to as to rough trajectory of the two companies? Okay, which of the following word can replace design? So which can be replaced design? What is design? Our privacy crisis is the crisis of design. Planning. What is the tone of the passage? What is the tone of the passage? I have no idea what is the tone of the passage. And not even the words I am. Superficial. So superficial is peripheral. So I think we have attempted all. So how do you think was the paper? How many people understood what could be the different ways of doing a paper? So how many people understood some different ways? Huh? So were you guys able to understand what could be a possible strategy to attempt a paper? Hmm? So would you like to see the score? Would you all like to see the score? How much did I score? Would you like to see the score? So I have scored somewhere around 110. Can you see? Can you see all of you? Can you see my score? So can you see I was very good with general and logical reasoning, and I was very bad with verbal, and I did decent job with law. I could do decent job with law. Yes. And you can see I have given only 16 minutes to general knowledge where I was explaining it to you guys. Yes, yes, actual. Is it similar? So can you see I was very bad with verbal where I could only score a 58% accuracy. But general knowledge, because it was more of current affairs, that's why I could score even this much. If it had, if had it been more on this part, which part? Had it been more on not you can say static part, I would have done very badly. Huh? So can you see the score? Were you able to see the score? I have shown you the detailed score as well. So how much time I took? I took how much time per question? So can you see for general knowledge, my overall time is 24 seconds per question. Logical reasoning, because it was one of my strength areas, I could do very well. So now tell me, did you understand the possibility of how you can score and what could be the right way of attempting a paper? What should be the uh, thoughts you should be going through when you are doing a paper? I hope this has helped you guys. Yes. For any queries, you can post down your comments. You will soon be getting replies. So Light, you will be getting a response soon. So anything else, if you see, and maybe English was bad because I am not good at with English, as well as there was some time management issues. I actually crashed into the time of verbal, I think, at the end of reasoning, right? So maybe because of that, so there could be other different reasons for not scoring good in English. And scoring good with general knowledge was again always associated with things being from current affairs. Right. So be prepared. All the best, everyone. All of you, all the best. Do your best. I hope this has helped. Bye bye. God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay home. And